Imagine a thriving, massive population of bright green beetles living peacefully high up in a lush green forest canopy. Their bright color is a perfect survival trait. It allows them to blend in seamlessly with the leaves and stay completely hidden from predators. But then, a severe drought hits the region. The intense heat causes the foliage to die off rapidly. Suddenly, the beetles face an immediate threat. Against the dead brown background of the branches, they now stand out like neon signs. Looking at that neon green target, it's tempting to wonder, can a beetle simply realize it's in danger and willfully change its color to brown to survive? The answer is no. This highlights a golden rule of biology. Individual animals do not evolve. A single organism cannot rewrite its own genetics on command. Instead, the survival of the species relies on something else entirely. To understand how a species actually survives a change like this, we have to zoom way in, past the forest, down to the microscopic level of reproduction. When beetles reproduce, the parents pass down a genetic recipe to their offspring. Sometimes, when DNA is copied, nature makes a random typographical error called a mutation. Most of the time, these typos do nothing, but occasionally, one lucky mistake results in a baby beetle born with a brown shell instead of green. It is crucial to note that this genetic change was completely accidental. The parent beetle didn't plan it as a conscious reaction to the drought, it just happened. These random genetic mutations provide the raw material of evolution. They are constantly throwing new, accidental variations into a population. Now, let's bring in the primary threat to our beetles: hungry birds swooping into the newly brown forest looking for an easy meal. Because the leaves are now brown, the birds easily spot the neon green beetles and eat them. But that single mutant brown beetle survives, simply because it happens to be perfectly camouflaged against the dead leaves. This specific process, where the environment filters out disadvantageous traits and ignores the helpful ones, is known as natural selection. The environment didn't create this beetle. It simply acted as a ruthless filter, eliminating the bright green ones and allowing that one lucky accident to live. You have probably heard the phrase survival of the fittest. Many people think this means the strongest or the fastest animal wins. In biological terms, fitness has a much simpler definition. It just means surviving long enough to successfully reproduce and pass on your specific genetic typo. Because our surviving brown beetle blends in, it lives to have offspring, passing its advantageous brown DNA to the next generation. Fast-forward several generations, and a clear pattern emerges. As brown beetles continually survive and green ones perish, the entire population changes. This is how the process completes itself. The population as a whole has successfully evolved to match its environment, even though no single individual beetle ever magically transformed its own body. The raw material of evolution, the genetic mutations, is entirely random, but the mechanism of evolution, known as natural selection, is the exact opposite of random. It is strict and highly predictable. To see this outside of a thought experiment, we can look at a famous real-world case, the peppered moth in 19th century England. During the Industrial Revolution, soot from factories blackened the local tree bark. Suddenly, light-colored moths were easy prey, allowing a dark-colored variant of the moth to quickly take over the population. The scientist who first articulated this mechanism was Charles Darwin. He observed how environments shape species over time, describing the process as descent with modification. Whether we are looking at beetles in a drought or moths in heavy smog, nature rigorously selects winners based purely on what works best for a specific environment right now. This generational game of pass it on has driven every living organism on Earth for billions of years. This skeletal comparison highlights how the filtering process causes different species to branch out from common ancestors, leaving inherited structural evidence behind in our anatomy. The dodo bird serves as a reminder of a crucial caveat. If an environment changes too fast and no lucky mutation exists to save them, a species can simply go extinct. Every thriving living thing today, from the complex animals in a coral reef to you, is a successful result of this unbroken chain of survival. Evolution works without superpowers or a ladder to perfection. Instead, nature simply preserves happy accidents across the depths of time.